paying for food stamps is more important than paying for veterans. You might be a liberal. Around here, we call you an idiot. Vigilant Liberty Radio.
At Independent Journal Review, we publish news that is objective, fair, and entertaining. As one of the top websites in the United States, it's our duty to bring the absolute best to our readers. Readers like you. IJReview.com, your number one source for news and entertainment.
This is Kevin Jackson of the Black Spreaker Radio Show. Listen to Vigilant Liberty Radio.
What's going on in your head? I think your brain is gone dead.
Hi, I'm Dustin Hoyt with America Our Way, and you can hear me right here on Vigilant Liberty Radio at 10/9 Central on Thursday nights. We bring you the best in political commentary from the right-wing, conservative, libertarian perspectives coming together and bringing the best content on the internet. Be sure to tune in every week for your favorite shows. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
This is Lachlan Marquet of the Washington Free Beacon, and you are listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio.
He says he doesn't have a horse in this race, but Retractor knows he does. Now he's got egg on his face. The donkey's on the left got owned by a kid. They can say it was a crime, but Retractor knows.
At Independent Journal Review, we publish news that is objective, fair, and entertaining. As one of the top websites in the United States, it's our duty to bring the absolute best to our readers. Readers like you. IJReview.com, your number one source for news and entertainment.
To the show. This is the Right Mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum. I apologize for the last half hour. You were taken along for the first half hour solo with Mike Miller.
Were you not here?
Dude, I knew that you had carefully written out and scripted something awesome to say.
That actually was off the top of my head, and I think it was actually just like a normal reaction.
Like what? You weren't here? I didn't even notice that. Yeah, well, so while you were honchoing our show, Miller, I was on national radio with another
the other
Miller radio show, exactly. But I tell you what, man, I mean, it was fun. We went through some, it was the Right Mics radio via the Dennis Miller show. I mean, basically, I talked through 3 different IJ review articles, joked around a little bit, brought up one serious non-political topic. We talked about it a little bit, and I was off.
You get a sense that, because you and I send each other, things that we're going to talk about, just to make sure. I mean, usually we're aware anyway, but just to make sure that we're,
like what's that? Uh-oh, something went wrong.
I just think you're here. I think you're here and you read.
I'm just getting a bunch of echo. Can you hear me okay?
Jessica?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Are you not hearing reverb?
I'm not hearing the reverb, but you guys are cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just hearing my voice over and over again.
Yeah.
Which since it's my favorite sound, it's actually kind of nice.
You could hear yourself say something twice.
Okay, now it's fixed. Good. Anyway, so it's the similar thing that you and I do, Mike. Is that I'll send them. I think I send them 8 different topics to talk about,
Right.
and then I just prepare myself for. And it's kind of a setup deal. Hey, you wrote some stuff. What'd you think about what you wrote about? So that's
Yeah.
fun. But I'll tell you what, the high point, man, and I'm not sure, obviously, we don't need to recap the first half hour because I'll have to listen to it to go through and send you some private messages on what you did wrong. But I was able to listen to Nancy Pelosi introduce the new Speaker of the House, which was a reelected 216 to 24 votes, John Boehner.
Right. You know, I don't know that you were listening to any part of the first half hour, but we talked about that at the top, and I suggested that it was more than likely that he would be reelected, and he has been. We also talked about, you did send a message that Pelosi, I won't say how you described it a couple of minutes ago, but
No, please don't. My parents might be listening.
yeah, you know, so, but, but you're exactly right. I mean, as I said in the first half hour, obviously Pelosi thrilled to death to have backbone-less John Boehner return than have to deal with Louis Gohmert or Ted Yoho. So that part in and of itself is hilarious.
Yeah, you know what? The feeling, and I'm sure that some of that is that, you know, the esteemed colleague from California, my esteemed colleague from Ohio. There's that kind of verbal nonsense
Oh yeah.
respect thing that they do. But, you know, juxtapose how Nancy Pelosi typically speaks about Republicans, that we want to kill, you know, the young, the old, the female, and the minorities. That's really what the Republican Party is all about. And that's the way.
Yeah, you know, push old ladies off cliffs in wheelchairs. That's
Absolutely. Well, there, and it could be that I'm just reading into it, Mike. But there was a sense of, okay, things are going to be just fine in her voice.
Listen, before we move on, because we talked about this a lot in the first hour, let me ask you your opinion. So now what happens? Again, I predicted, well, that everybody knew, probably at least, that Boehner was going to be reelected. So do you suspect at all that the liberal media, as we speak, and it'll be wall to wall tonight, going to be all over this? You know, here's the Republicans. You know, they gain control. Well, they have control the House. They gain control of the Senate. Yet they have to, this whole, you know, dirty laundry in public. You know, the wretched conservatives and the teabaggers and whatever have you have started the whole thing off on a bad foot. And this is just going to be more the same. It's all the Republicans' fault. You know, that's going to be all over liberal media.
Well, it certainly is. And I think the other thing, and gosh, you know what? I might be just cynical. Let me give you a compendium, what I think that the agenda is going to be for the 114th Congress, right?
Yes.
Let's see here. I'm just going to read from this. It's a particular document I pulled up, and then what I want you to do, this is a fun game we're going to play. I'm going to read from this document that I've opened up on my browser, and I want you to tell me where I got this. Okay?
Okay. You want me to be serious?
Yeah, dead serious. I want you to try to guess where I got it from. Building on the progress to realize the nation's full potential, we will deliver stronger growth and job creation, opportunity for all, fiscal responsibility, investing in American innovation to create jobs and opportunity, building a 21st century infrastructure, equipping all Americans with high-quality education and the skills they need, expanded opportunity and middle-class security, ensuring our nation's safety and security. Economic growth and opportunity can only be achieved if America is safe and secure. We will support efforts to promote the country's security and well-being, both at home and abroad. We will manage the government to drive growth and opportunity in the private sector. Our nation's future will be secure. We will endeavor to reduce long-term deficits and promote sustainable long-run growth. We will anticipate cutting the deficit as a share of the economy, and making investments to grow the economy and expand opportunity for all Americans. Okay, that is what I expect the 114th Congress to do. That is going to be what I think that's probably a very, very good summary of what their agenda is going to be. Where do you think I got that?
Are you asking where you read it or who said it?
Well, either where did I read it off of, or what's the source of that? Here's what my suggestion is. My suggestion is this is the basically the working plan that we will hear from the Republican leadership for this coming year. But where was it? Do you think I read that from?
You know what? Geez, I've got nothing. I mean, it could have been on CNN. It could have been on Fox. One on MSNBC. It sounds like something that Boehner should say, although I don't think he's that eloquent. So, dude, I got nothing.
The web address is whitehouse.gov/OMB/overview.
You guys just shoot me right now.
So what I'm saying is, man, is that we're going to hear basically the same type of thing that we've heard, and unless I told you exactly where I got it from, you could just substitute. I don't believe you can necessarily substitute one party for another.
Yeah, but you know what I think? I mean, maybe to disagree just a tad, that sounds like a standard stump speech or stump speech or stock rhetoric, if you will, from any politician who just won something.
Yes, that's exactly what I agree. Now, if I were to have said, yeah, this is the policy piece just submitted by Trey Gowdy or Mike Lee or Rand Paul or Scott Walker, you'd be like, no, I don't believe you. That's not who it's going.
Yeah, no, right.
So I think when it comes to Congress, I think that the overview, hearing Nancy talk about shepherding our future in, and John Boehner not weeping while he is thanking the members for renominating him to the leader and what he plans on doing, all that is just a bunch of bologna sauce.
Right. Speaking of that, I wonder if the dude did cry. I'll have to check YouTube later for that. Yeah, you know what? I'm an Obama, Listen, that coming from the White House is hilarious. And why am I not surprised? I kind of was surprised, but not after I realized that what you were saying was true. But so, yeah, he's all interested in working together and, reducing the deficit and the budget and everything else. But he did earlier this month exactly what he did last year at this time. Last year it was, I got my pen and I got my phone. And this time he comes out this year and says, haven't vetoed a lot of bills, but I suspect I'm going to be vetoing a lot more bills this year. He doesn't even wait for Congress to be sworn in this year before he starts that.
Yes, exactly. Yep, exactly.
So I don't know, man. Hey, let me be random for a second here before I forget, because, we got Auntie Jody coming up at 3, and this is just going to take a couple minutes, but I want your rapt attention, and I want Jessica's as well. I alluded to this before we broke, and as I've often done in the past, say we're going to talk about something, and then you and I get on a a rant or a ramble or whatever, and then I didn't. So we have to talk about this, Alison, and this is very serious stuff. Are you ready?
Hold on a second. Let me just readjust my chair here.
Yeah, because I want us to just reflect as I talk about it.
Okay. Let's reflect together, would you please?
All right. So yesterday, we talked about the whole mistreatment of chickens.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. And that free range thing. I mean, you were hilarious, and you were you were actually laughing your ass off as you read, the qualifications for free range and the whole thing. But anyway, after the show, I found myself in a bit of a downer, and it dawned on me that I was just really feeling bad and guilty about these chickens. That the majority.
Let me just interject a funny joke. Ever heard that line? Jim Gaffigan, where they're, so it's like, do you have any idea what they do to chickens? And Gaffigan, I don't know, but it's delicious.